I'm going to run through these quick. Hold your applause. Soil and Company. Award sponsors, Gelati Construction. Anybody heard of those guys? Hermsmeyer Hall of Fame sponsor, Stripe and Seal. Guest table sponsor, Team Gelati. Champagne sponsors, Advanced Stormwater Protection. Cabrera and Associates. George Peterson Insurance. Action Rents. Canyon Rock Company. Sire Industries is the dessert and coffee bar sponsor. The Waddle Guys. You guys all know what, hey, you guys all know what waddles are? You do now after the debris cleanup, right? Bar sponsors, Don Ramatzi Insurance, North Bay Petroleum, Gemini Rentals, and by the way, we do have Porton Cigars when we're done, so keep the speeches short. Porton Cigar Bar sponsor, Bodine, Pace Supplies, and the dinner wine sponsors, Northgate Ready Mix, R&S Trucking, and Oak Grove Construction. Thank you guys. We have a couple of elected officials that decided to join us. They decided to take a chance. It might now be fashionable to be seen with people that build things. It wasn't fashionable for a few years. Now it's a little more fashionable. I saw that, Jimmy Gore. I hope that you guys all agree with me that we are very lucky in Sonoma County with our supervisors, particularly the two that decided to join us tonight. These two gentlemen, James Gore and David Rabbit, that's the chairperson of the supervisors of Sonoma County and the vice chair are here tonight. They're our partners. They don't do everything we ask them to do, and I hope they never will. But all we really ask of our elected officials, be fair, don't prejudge your vote, listen, keep your eyes open, and work hard. And we are very blessed that we got the two most pragmatic and visionary supervisors, and I'll say this, in the history of Sonoma County. James Gore, David Rabbit, you guys do a tremendous job. The ECA is very pleased that our Government Affairs Committee and our Board of Directors decided to recognize that even running for election when nobody's opposing you yet, knock on wood, costs money. Money's a deterrent. And so we voted to make a PAC donation to these two gentlemen. So if you two would come up, please. James Gore, David Rabbit. We are very thankful that they decided to run for re-election, and we hope that God this is all done in June of 2018 in the primary. We don't have to go to November. But on behalf of the Engineering Contractors Association's PAC, and we have another check here, but let me give you the PAC check first. David Rabbit for supervisor. Thank you guys. Thank you, James. We got more money. Argonaut's got a check for you guys. There's David. There's James. I think there might be another contractor or two that would like to give you guys a check. You want to give it to them direct? Here you go. When's my road getting paid by my house? Anyways, if you guys saw the State of the Union address about a week and a half ago, James Gore thinks outside the box. David Rabbit's a great guy. Thank you guys for everything you do. I think now more than ever, elected officials are looking to the private sector to come up with some solutions. The job in front of us to rebuild Sonoma County is overwhelming, okay? And so we are trying very hard to work with the supervisors. It ain't gonna be easy. Keith Wood shared a story with me the other day. Somebody called him. and they were from Ventura County. And they discussed the fact that they had 11-member steering committee to deal with rebuilding Ventura County. And Keith goes, oh my God, that's very impressive. And he was listening to who's on the committee. It was amazing. He says, how many houses did you guys lose in Ventura County? And I'm not trying to poo-poo the mudslides or anything. Gang, they lost 175 houses. We lost 5,000 houses in Santa Rosa, 8,000 in Sonoma County. This is going to go on for 10 years. And they're looking, as I said, the private sector to come up with some solutions or at least some ideas. And the ECA stands ready to help you guys as partners. Thank you guys very much. I think we've got a very entertaining and hopefully emotionally rewarding evening for you guys and tonight. And I'm very pleased and honored to be your host for this 41st annual installation and awards dinner. Tonight we're going to acknowledge some people with some well-deserved awards. I'm not calling them up right now, I'm just going to shout out their names. Mark Soyland's going to be honored with the 2017 Affiliate of the Year Award. Is going to be honored with the 2017 Contract of the Year Award. Pauline Stefanos is going to be recognized for the 2017 Volunteer of the Year Award. And the highlight of the evening will probably be the recognition of our two Hermsmeyer Hall of Fame recipients tonight, Joe Gannon of Pace Supply, just like Bruce Wilmus is going to do tonight for his son Brett, my dad introduced me 15 years ago as incoming president of the Engineering Contractors Association. It was an extremely memorable night for me 15 years ago, and Brett, I think you're going to carry this evening the rest of your life. I hope you do. I hope it means as much to you as it did to me, my friend. Very blessed to have your dad here. 15 years ago, 2003, Talia Hart was the executive director. Talia Hart was married to Mike Hauser. Everybody remember Talia? She's moved on and she's now the head of the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. So there's hope for me. Anyway, how many people remember? This is so memorable to me. How many of you guys remember where I got introduced as president of the ECA? Where was it? Glenn, you were there. Sheridan. It's up at the Sheridan. Right above the round bar. The Tubbs fire in the biggest disaster that ever hit Santa Rosa and Sonoma County took that away from us. I still got my memories. And when President Brett, incoming President Brett and I went over how the evening was going to go tonight, we talked about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And he said, well, what are you going to do about the fire? We got all these awards to do. What are you going to do? And we discussed it. And the seed for the Heroes Amongst Us video was planted in our discussion. Thank you, Brett. And a quick phone call to Don Mills, Sound Ideas, and his team over there, Angela and Alejandro. And the seed sprouted into what you're about to see. So, due to time restraints, I'm going to give you the disclaimer. We know there's a lot more people that did heroic things during this fire and right afterwards. We can't recognize and include each and every one of them. We did the best we could to put together a memorable experience for you guys, and I hope that you guys appreciate that the first responders all got recognized, the firefighters and police, and appropriately so. But the ECA had an awful lot of first responders as well. And so tonight, let's take a few minutes. Somebody could turn down the lights. We'll watch this video while you guys eat your dinner, and I think you'll appreciate the ECA's Heroes Amongst Us. Thank you.
Hubs fire on October 8th came down, flew out of these mountains here, blew through these communities, and showed us that we're not as safe as we think we are.
I drove up to the top of Fountain Grove and saw an orange glow over by Calistoga, and thought, no way it's getting to Santa Rosa.
I got a phone call shortly after 10 o'clock from Dean saying, you know, there might be a fire up by the quarry, you might want to go check it out. Fountain Grove was aglow, and I saw that Lark Field was burning, and I saw Cardinal Newman burning with my field glasses. Got a phone call a little after 10 o'clock on that first night to go get Robert and Boating water truck in Forestville and get out and help. Do what you can. People are in need. So I went on into Calistoga, got to about where the fire started at Tubbs Lane, and I ran into the fire department, CDF department out of St. Helena, and I explained that I'm from the quarry and I'd really like to get up there. We have magazines up there with explosives. People were trapped off Marquette Springs and needed a route out, and we just pretty much provided that. And allowed that last batch of people to get down, and we got ourselves out of there. The fire was just starting to move through the quarry at about 1 a.m. in the morning. Wind was horrendous wind. It was jumping from peak to peak. I was kind of awestruck, actually. I've never seen anything like that. Looking out towards the southwest, I knew Santa Rosa was in trouble. Cell coverage was poor, but just phoning people saying, look out, get out. It's coming. We were out running roadblocks. The law enforcement people had roadblocked, but we were obviously not looters. So they let us through, and we were able to save some houses, throw some fire break around them, and wet them down and stuff. Took Calistoga Road and got out onto Highway 12, where I could look back and see the fire coming over the Calistoga Road down into the Brush Creek area. Horrendous traffic jams at that point. We were fighting it on 101, thinking no way can jump 101, and here comes these fireballs with that crazy wind. I noticed a huge traffic jam on 101, steady lights going south to the Bay Area. Never seen anything like it before in my life, and I think it was a matter of 30 seconds or a minute, and as bad as the fire was on the left of us, it was worse on the right. We were almost trapped again. It was gridlock, and the sheriff says, hey, do whatever you gotta do, just, help them out. Several of my co-workers had already lost their homes. We opened up our office area for their friends and family to come and stay, and kind of shelter, weather it out that day to see what was going on.
I live on San Miguel Avenue, just about 2 blocks west of the tracks. Then I got woken up at 2 a.m. By the wind and the garbage cans on our street, flying across the street. We scrambled my parents up, we got the kids out of bed, we got the dog, grabbed a few things, and just ran out of the house, basically, grabbed our 2 cars, and went over to our church over on Fulton and Occidental Road, watched the progress of the fire, not really knowing what was happening.
Cell phones didn't work, nobody knew what was going on.
We had about over 100 people that were sheltered there that night.
You see, when the fires hit, it took our whole area by storm. Private citizens were kind of going bonkers trying to help out.
I woke up my neighbor Steve, and myself and him decided to stay and try and fight the fire and save our houses.
They came over the hill very fast with the wind pushing it. They say the winds were 75 to 80 miles an hour. I think they were every bit of that.
Steve was on one side of the street, I was on the other side of the street, and I don't think I saw Steve for probably a couple hours while I'm fighting on one side of the street by garden hoses and knocking down fences.
an hour and a half, 2 hours later, the first fire came.
They were looking for a place to stand and fight, and they came and they looked into the fire hydrants. We started fighting to help them.
The fire hydrants went dry, and we were able to tap into Steve's pool and start fighting the fire again. At the end, we were taking buckets of water out of hot tubs to try and put the fire down.
The fire was put out on the west side of our street. Most of the fire trucks left. Cressica water trucks and the Bodine water trucks were tendering right below our house on Alturia.
It was really great. The Bodine came up there, and it was amazing to watch to put this fire out because there was no water, there were no fire trucks around.
The Bodine truck came up and with his water cannon and did a good job of putting out our last house that was on fire. Without the water trucks, we would have never won the battle.
Keeping the truck full of water and just start laying it down. We started in Coffee Park, close to the railroad tracks, and Fulton, just load after load. Mark Custa and his crew, Art and Dean, Mark Marnelli. They were driving Mark's other 2 water tenders, and I called them. I said, hey, we need to get into Coffee Park. The fire department was so happy to see us. What they didn't have enough of was water tenders and trucks. All of us were split out in Coffee Park and San Miguel trying to put out the fire and stopping it from traveling west.
And I walked to the edge of our court, looked down over Fountain Grove and towards Coffee Park, and saw the whole place was burned.
After about 5:30 or so, after the wind had died down, there was nothing else to burn. The fire pretty much stopped traveling.
We have over 45 people in our church that lost their homes, and so the atmosphere in our church that morning was just an atmosphere of just grieving and mourning and just people crying with each other and comforting. And
The battle continued for the next 3, 4, 5 days. And that Art, during the fire, we were in the neighborhood with a water wagon trying to save our own butts here and ran into Art and probably helped him out too.
And I snuck back into the neighborhood about 8:15 because I just had to find out if my house was still standing. Most of the houses on Deer Trail Road are already gone. When I got here, the home behind me was fully engulfed. Propane tanks blowing up, ammunition, it was crazy. I got on the roof and started watering my roof and gutters down. I barely had a trickle of water because we're on a mutual water system and the power was off. All of a sudden, from across the street, I see a guy with a couple men with a water tank and a pickup, and they're watering the neighbor's house and the grounds all around it.
So we decided that we would water him down the best we could because the embers were going and all these houses were still on fire. Power lines were flying all over the place. So just tried to do what we could with what we had.
And he decided to be a hero, and he is my hero. He watered my house down enough. When my water ran out, I got off the roof, I shook his hand, met the guys, and left. And came back 5 hours later, my house was still standing.
Most people think that, you know, the Coffee Park, Larkfield, Wikia, Fountain Grove areas were kind of it. Well, actually there were fires really raging towards Oakmont, Bennett Valley. There was a lot of threat about the fire coming over the hill, the Nuns fire coming over to attack Roanoke Park and Petaluma.
You know, it just wasn't us. We were just a drop in the bucket. I mean, there were so many members in our association, the Argonauts, the Soillands, the, Situals, everybody stood up and did their part.
I encountered some of the Northwest General Engineering guys that worked for Kevin Holtzinger, really doing a hero's job. They were taking their 2,000 and 2,500 gallon water trucks and just going out, just like I was, tirelessly trying to put out fires in the Bennett Valley Road area. And they were sharing hoses, hydrant wrenches, fittings, doing it with a smile and really trying to help our community. Me and Dale Mahoney drove around for a few days, a couple big properties up in Sky Farm. I don't know how many houses we sprayed and properties we sprayed, but we were filling up and spraying it as fast as we could.
I hooked up with Chris Wilson, one of our Teamsters, and we took our water truck out into Sky Farm area and protected houses, cut some fire roads, access roads out there. We also went to a number of our employees' homes that were from that area and watered down their properties so that they would have fire protection. We also went up and hit random houses that were close to the fire, hopefully protecting them and saving those houses. Joey Richardson, who came in, jumped on to our hydro seed truck, which we found a new use for it, that it made a great water cannon. It could spray water 150, 200 feet out. We were able to safely operate at the fire lines and assist the fire department.
The hydro seeder was interesting. We drove around. It has a water cannon on top, so we were actually able to spray 4 or 5 houses at a time.
Jeff Green, Tiny Green. Tiny was one of the first people to come in the yard. He woke up from the fires. He came in the yard. He got a 3,000-gallon water tank. He went down to Presley Road. It was an active fire zone. Tiny was tendering the fire trucks down there so that they didn't have to go down to the water truck, allowed them to stay on the fire line longer than they could otherwise.
There was a fire coming over the ridge off of Crane Canyon Road, and we were cutting preventative fire breaks along the sides of the road in several different fields.
I got a call from our superintendent asking me to go over the bulldozer on the park. So I shot over there and cut fire lines for 2.5 days off of Petaluma Hill Road. Aaron Bowman, the guy behind me.
We had a bulldozer on site helping cut fire breaks for the Lakeville Highway 37 fire.
For the following weeks after that, I worked with Willie and we hosted the National Guard in our yard. We supported them, gave them housing, fed them food, and whatever they needed, we took care of.
We housed about 250, from beginning to end total. I think they stayed about 3 weeks. They're very thankful for having all these things at their fingertips with bathrooms, showers, hot meals, which really lifts the morale of the people up.
My wife was out, Genevieve Gelati, and rescued over 30 animals with her horse trailer and horses and steers, sheep and goats, and doing her part, delivering loads of pumpkins to kid shelters and helping the kids during all the trauma.
Unfortunately, we had some people that worked for us lose their homes. About 50 were displaced. About 10 of them actually lost their homes. Some Fountain Grove, Wickiup area, and we actually, helped them by getting them some motor homes in the meantime to, for them to have a place to stay in the midst of all the chaos. We did, put some funds out to the Exchange Bank, and I think operating engineers donated some $150,000 to that fund for the local workforce to obtain some funds to get back on their feet.
At the same time that we've had dramatic destruction and craziness rampant all around us, we've also seen our community rise up. And we've seen just amazing courage and compassion and capacity rise up in this area and show us what it is all about to be in Sonoma County.
Alicia Hansel requested if we could sponsor so many families that were displaced from the fire, whether it's Coffee Park, Fountain Grove. So we, as Gelati Construction, chose that we would help 12 families. So we ended up putting packages together for the 12 families and ended up presenting that before Christmas to the 12 families that we sponsored. And there was multiple other contractors involved with that, Argonaut, Mike Smith, Team Gelati, Glenn Gelati. Everyone stepped up to the plate and, saw the time and need and gave back like the normal Sonoma County residents would do.
If you think about out of a crisis comes opportunity. So at the same time that we've had this destruction, we have hundreds of millions of dollars that are going into work to remove debris and to prepare us to rebuild this community.
Of course, there's there's economic opportunity like I've never seen before, like I never thought possible around here in our business. But it's not really about that. It's more about a moral obligation to serve the community and give back.
We've been involved in the fire recovery operations for the past 3 months, rebuilding the Santa Rosa effort. We're working throughout Sonoma County.
I was dispatched to Coffee Park soon after the fires, and have been pretty strong at it for the past 3.5 months now. Basically cleaning up lots from front to back, foundations, cleaning up all debris, and loading it into trucks and off-hauling it.
You know, one of the real eternal rewards in this thing is being able to cheer people up. When you first meet them on their site, it's a scene of desolation. And they're despondent, and they're sick of looking at it, and when they come back in a couple of days, it's all cleaned up. The look on their face is just priceless.
The folks at the Engineering Contractors Association have done everything and more to ensure that all of those resources go to local contractors, to people who are working and living in our community. So we don't just rebuild our community, we build capacity as we do it.
You know, it's been a devastating thing that's hit our community, and there's a few people in the community, the strength of the community that are standing up, and we continue to do what we need to do for everybody in our local village. So, thank you.
I work with a great team of people. Willie Gelati and Dale Mahoney made it obvious that we wanted to do whatever we can for our community. So it was a big honor to help out any way we can.
As part of the Engineering Contractors Association, we hosted a Thanksgiving dinner for all of our employees and employees that were working on the fire job. We also helped support the Coffee Park Christmas event that took place. That included bringing in snow for the local residents, hay rides, contributing to all the lights that you see on Hopper Avenue.
When you see the devastation and you see all these flattened homes and you see a few homes that are still standing, you don't really know what happened. Bodine's fire trucks, water trucks were there that night. 2 of them were helping to put out the fires. So I texted Dean and Bo right away. I texted them the video and I said, hey, thank you so much for saving our neighborhood, because if you guys hadn't have been there with your trucks, the rest of the neighborhood would have just gone. I was sure of that. So I'm very thankful for what these guys did and for risking their lives to save our homes and save people and save our neighborhoods.
Coffee Strong, the Neighborhood Association, wants to thank all of you for all the work you've done. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are. There has to already be constructed, and we can't do that without you guys. And we really, really appreciate it. So on behalf of Coffee Strong and all the Coffee Park residents, thank you so much for your time, energy, and care that you've taken in doing this work.
Thanks to the ECA for jumping on and helping the cleanup and getting things, getting the community righted again. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's amazing to see the collaboration that goes on between you guys. Typically, you're competitors that you bid on jobs against each other to get work, but to see those lines be, if not blurred, erased, to come together for our community and work together. Owners of these companies that may be multi-generational, that have never met each other before or really interacted before because there's been that professional competition, and are now friends and we're working together, and it's all because you guys want to come together and help our community. It means a lot to us.
I think the recovery is doing very, very well. You know, it's going to be a long process. It's going to be years before all the infrastructure is rebuilt. But, you know, I am really excited to be there and help in any way we can.
I just want to say thanks to the ECA for the great job of cleaning up. The guys they've had up there are nice, they're friendly, they're doing a good job. They're trying not to destroy our lives too much while they're there, and they're very professional.
A big thank you out to Dick Gelati. As town fire, Dick was one of the first people to step up and donate $150,000 to the Redwood Fire Relief Emergency Fund. I'd also like to thank the Engineering Contractors Association They coordinated such a huge amount, especially John Bly, with the Executive Director of the Engineering Contractor Association, Mark Soylan from Stony Point Quarry, Glenn Gelati, Team Gelati, Willie Gelati, Gelati Construction. Without all these, and I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, without these people, we would be so much farther behind in this cleanup. So I want to thank them for their leadership on what they did.
The contractors in this area were just phenomenal. Gelati, Northwestern, Camelot, Bodie, just all pitched in. I mean, it's just, I've never seen so many people wanting just whatever it took to put in the effort. I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Yeah, the good old boys were back, It was like the good old days.
Looking at the Argonauts and the Gelatis and the Anvils, and I look at all these different members of the ECA, and I look at the ECA itself, all I can say is thank you, because you guys have completely taken disaster and created an opportunity for us to show the rest of the world what it's all about to be Sonoma Strong.
The ECA and everyone involved did a marvelous job of putting all this together to get Sonoma County back on their feet and show that we're Sonoma County strong.
I am Sonoma County proud.
And we are Sonoma County strong.
We're proud to be Sonoma County strong.
That was some real emotion there, gang. I got to give a shout out to two other people that didn't get mentioned. I think one got mentioned by accident, and that's Paul from ECC. His man is sitting right here. They've done a great job. John, where are you from APM? Right here. Stand up, please. There's your guy behind the scenes. He doesn't want a whole lot of praise. Right there with the thank you, John. Doug Allard. Stand up, Mr. Waddle. The guy that just went out there and bought a bunch of hay and started making waddles and giving it away. And Doug Allard, you're a freaking hero. And I'm forgetting 100 others. But the other heroes, quite honestly, I got to give a shout out to Don Mills, Alejandro, and Angela. They finished editing this at about 4 o'clock today. Great job, you guys. Cole, stand up, please. CMAB. You'll see him at Public Officials Night, too. We're done doing the hokey pokey. We've got a real professional doing our sound and video. And thanks to all of you that took the time out of your busy work weeks to help make that video. I'm going to assume that some folks might want a copy of that. We'll figure out how to do that. I'm not an IT person, but we'll figure out how to do that. Angela's got it. She's getting thumbs up over there. And I think people are going to want to see that again. Anyways, we got some awards to give out tonight, gang. So bear with me a brief word about how award winners are chosen and when they're chosen for the ECA. In August, the executive committee of the ECA gets together and discusses and proposes a slate of award winners, and we bring that to the entire board of directors in September. And after spirited discussion and arguments and starts and stops, we usually arrive at unanimous consensus agreement on who's going to get the awards. I felt that was important to say because that happened all before the fire. But I don't think it changed a thing. I think we selected quite well, and tonight we're going to recognize some very deserving people. Affiliate of the Year Awards. On the screen, you can see all of the past recipients. If you are on this list, would you please stand up right now? If you can read them. I'm not going to read them all. Doug, got to be some others here to thank you. You're it. The affiliates have always been such an integral part of the Engineering Contractors Association. We wouldn't be the same without them. We wouldn't be the ECA. And that doesn't change in the 41st year. First up for the award for the Affiliate of the Year is an old pal, very deserving of this award. Mark Soylent has done an awful lot for this community, for his employees, for his family, and for the industry. I can't think of a more timely choice and a better choice to get the Affiliate of the Year award for the ECA in 2017. Mark, come on up here.
Well, Doug, I actually think you should get this award. Twice. It's your 20th anniversary for getting the very first one of these. But before I share the award with you, I have to start with a joke. 2017, 2018, the love in the air is thicker than the smoke. But in 1972, when this organization was formed, the smoke in the room at the Green Mill was thicker than... Back then, all the gelatis smoked. You know, Mark Soylent didn't smoke, but pretty much everyone else. So it's quite an honor to stand up here in front of you. I'm looking out at friends. I'm looking out at beloved supervisors. I'm looking out at Jane Rabbit, a pal in Petaluma, doing great things for school kids. Proud to serve with you. Dick Dow, Doug Allard, Ron Powers from Fedco, Rusa Krepke, recent former mayor, your son, amazing. Coffee Park, strong. It's a little awkward to stand up here in a year like this and pretend, you know, that I'm Affiliate of the Year. There are so many of us that really deserve this. But it is actually fitting, and it's not really, I'm not going to make it about me. I'm going to try to make it about my dad, and I'm going to try to make it about Brett. So 10 years ago tonight, I was installed as the first affiliate president of this organization. And tonight, you're going to be installed as another affiliate president from our company. Brett, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of who you are. I'm proud of what you do. I'm proud of what you come from. Your parents are here. I'm very proud of who they are. Amongst our peers, we have amazing people in the room. Bill Dutra, Dick Gelati. We're missing some. Obviously, a lot of the affiliates that were on the list, maybe they're no longer with us or they're just no longer here. But this is an amazing night, an amazing year, and I just want to say that 10 years ago when I was president, my platform was banding together. It's still the same. It's still the same. And if we want to pretend that the fires define us, the fires don't define us. How we respond and who we are and how we do what we do is what defines us. So let's make that our mantra. Let's march forward. Let's band together. Let's use our collective wisdom and let's just be amazing. Thank you.
Our next honoree joins an illustrious list of award winners that you can see on the screen. I doubt there's a person who cares more about this association and about our industry, and probably about our community, than Doug Hamilton. Doug has put his considerable energy where others may only put rhetoric. And I'm not trying to demean anybody, but I don't know anybody that outworks you, my friend, outpassions you, and outfeels what you feel. And I hope Doug will tell us a little bit about the construction corps that we've been talking about, the need for workforce development since about 2006. Well, gang, it's here. We're out of workers. We need some workers. And Doug is doing his absolute damnedest, as the ECA will do, to help you and support you, to come and introduce construction to high school students. And I hope you talk a little bit about that as you come up and accept your award. So please join me.
Good evening. I just got to acknowledge the reason to babysit the 2018 Affiliate of the Year. I've been around a long time. I won't tell those stories, Mark. I'd like to thank you all for being honored with this award, and particularly I want to thank my wife and my staff for filling in the gaps. As John said, I got a tremendous passion about supporting the industry and about connecting youth to the industry. And it takes time to do that. It takes energy, and that energy comes away from my duties at home, my duties at work. And so I greatly appreciate my bride and my staff for filling in. I want to talk a little bit about the North Bay Construction Corps and kind of its genesis. So for several decades, we've been going out as the ECA and the Builders Exchange talking to high school students about how great it is to work in construction. Good money, retirement, health benefits, the whole works. Go, go, go. Look how happy we are. I got a suntan, do you? And then there's always a couple kids in the back of the room that go, I hate school. And how do I make that much money? And our first question is, how old are you? And they said 16 or 17, and we had no answer. This is for 20-something years, we had no answer. And the problem was, how do we use, we can't use student labor, and because of child labor laws, we cannot work anyone that isn't 18. They can't drive, they can't deliver pizza, they can't use power tools, you can't use a jackhammer. They are worthless to us. I'm sorry, they're in debt to us, because we're still trying to get them out of our house. Right? So I had an epiphany before last year, and I actually got to give credit to my son, who's a paramedic firefighter. And I was sitting there kind of frustrated by kids asking me the same question, and I said, how is it that you can run a chainsaw and drive a fire engine at 16 years old? They go, because I'm a Boy Scout. I go, you're no Boy Scout. And he says, no, we have an Explorer program. And that's how we are able, through the Boy Scouts of America, we have insurance that allows us to do this. And that was the epiphany that sparked the North Bay Construction Corps. We were able to partner with that idea with the Santa Rosa Junior College, the Sonoma County Office of Education, the Career Technical Education Foundation, the North Coast Builders Exchange, and now the ECA, to connect industry professionals that are volunteers with students interested in construction. We promised a very full program. It would take 5.5 months to teach them skills in construction, and then we go through a 2-week boot camp, and then they'd be ready to hire. Clarification is we're not training the electricians or carpenters or equipment operators. We actually went to the contractor members and we said, what are you looking for? And it was kind of interesting. Nobody said a college degree, right? Nobody said this, that, or the other thing. They said, show up on time, good attitude, work ethic, drug-free. Oh, and it'd be really nice if they knew how to tie a load down on a truck. Right? So Joe Gannon, I haven't seen you in a while, but when I dumped that load of 2-inch PVC on College Boulevard and Dell Industries, I have since learned that now I teach better. So that was the start. Last year, we promised a robust program. Somehow, each night, we were like, who's going to teach tonight and what are we going to do? And we had 20 applicants. At the end, we had 7 graduates. Every one of our 7 graduates had multiple job offers at graduation. From the Board of Supervisors, from state officials in Sacramento, from the local newspaper, from the mayor of Santa Rosa, and on and on and on. And this was all before the fires. So I did a presentation at the Redwood Empire Remodelers Association about a month ago, and I promised that I could tell them how in 7 years we could double our workforce. And the room went quiet. So as I look around, I see a couple good-looking guys, but I see a lot of really good-looking women in this room. And one of the problems we've had in construction is, for some reason, we've considered that you have to have facial hair to be successful. And that is not true in any way, at any level. We have women owners, we have women excavators, we have women project managers, we have women trade centers. Look at part of our staffing problem in the trades. I need to take responsibility of it for it as a parent, and I think we all need to also. Because we said it, whether we said it explicitly or we just implied it, we told our children, you are worthless if you don't go to college. That was a mistake. I know many of the people that established this organization that if they got out of high school, it was just because the principal was trying to get them out of there, not because they excelled in anything. And all it really takes is passion. The skills to survive in this business are not that challenging. But we've told our kids, and we set up our educational system that, you know, we don't have shop classes anymore. We don't have auto shop or wood shop or whatever. You got to take AP this and AP that. And then all of a sudden, 7 years later, we have graduates with high college debt that don't know what they want to do, okay? And we have 6,000 homes to rebuild and an inadequate workforce. So we're doing something about it. Our little program last year with 7 graduates has 43 students right now. We're doing 2 programs, one out at Healdsburg High School with Terry Bagney, who was a superintendent for Don Down Company with me years ago. And then Phil Hartman down at Rancho County. We have a plethora of volunteer instructors. We have a $200,000 budget that is guaranteed for the next 2 years. And we have pledged from the ECA, both financial and to help coordinate our lessons. So we're teaching these kids first aid, CPR, AED, forklift certification, scissor lift certification, chainsaw juggling, well, chainsaw use, equipment maintenance and operation, plan reading, and the biggest thing is show up on time, show up early, ask questions, work hard. And we have, to the best of my knowledge, 5 women in our program this year. We're actively looking for more. So I appreciate recognition of my efforts, but this is really industry-wide. Everyone has been trying for the last 20 years to do this. So go home and tell your girls to check out construction. It pays a whole lot better than Tiffany's or whatever, or Taco Bell. And I appreciate your ongoing support, and thank you for this honor.
Presidents now. So if we go on to the next screen on the board here, you'll see our list of the past presidents. I want you to particularly note year 2003, that's when we hit our apex. Are you choking back there? Heinrich back there. They must have really scraped the bottom of the barrel. None of them as good as 2017, and I say that with true sincerity. In a year that we needed leadership, in a year that we needed somebody to stand steady by the helm, in a year that we got to have somebody that leads the ECA, we had Dale Mahoney at Gelati Construction. Woo! Yeah! We've had some great presidents, but Dale Mahoney, as far as I'm concerned, come on up here. You're the best past president ever.
I'm not quite the public speaker that Mark or John or Doug is, that's for sure. So I have a lot of notes, and this has been a real challenging year for the Contractors Association. Whole North Bank. The October 9th fires just brought other devastation to the community. Oh, sorry. This has had positive consequences. This has brought our membership, our organization together. How often you see Argonaut sitting at the same table next to Gelati? They've become very good friends. I know that very well. I spend way too many hours with both of them. Brought some new people into the community. ECC was one of the first responders when FEMA came out. Paul with the ECC has brought the local community and involved everything. That was his MO from the very beginning. And I really want to acknowledge Paul in bringing us together. He'll pass the credit on to us. It doesn't, we were there, Paul led it. Paul brought us together. Over 500 meals were served on Thanksgiving Day. Paul bought us those meals. He led the way. We had a lot of participation from the local community. Mike Smith, Argonaut Construction, Willie Gelati, Gelati Construction, Glenn Gelati. I want to thank also Jenny Chamberlain, she was there. Yeah. David Doer's office. Tony, Mary Cabrera. Oh. Was it Mary? Yeah. Cabrera? We had a lot of people from the community there. Jeff Okropi from actually Coffee Park, he was there. John Allen with APM Homes, he was one of the big sponsors in there. The association also put together Christmas in Coffee Park. We brought trees in for the local residents, snow, popcorn machines, hay rides. A lot of people were involved in that. Mark Soylan, again, Mike Smith, John Blythe, Willie Gelati, Glenn Gelati. It does, you know. I may or may not be as big supporter of Hillary Clinton, but it takes a village, and we did it. The ECA has been a big sponsor of the Construction Corps. This past year, we provided some instructors. Mike Faulkner from Gelati Construction went out, and the Construction Corps undertook a Habitat for Humanity project in Santa Rosa, rebuilding a deck. Mike went out and helped teach hands-on all the kids that were out there to do it. Eventually, the program graduated 7 kids. Currently, I believe they have over 40 enrolled in the new program for this coming year. It's twice the enrollment that it was last year. The Construction Corps is really important. We as an industry are having a hard time attracting people, and it is important that we reach out to them and show them what we do. It is a good job, as we will know. Also this year, we've had the Miracle League. in Miracle League, we built an accessible playground in Cataluma's Lucchese Park. A lot of the materials that were donated by Soylent Company, Bodine, and Vulcan Materials. A lot of contractor support. Gelati Construction did the concrete work. Glenn Gelati with Team Gelati did a lot of the earthwork in the underground. Thank you, guys. The video that Don Mills put together, and it was a great video, Don. Thank you very much. That was the beginning of the community stepping up. The water trucks out there. I've done a little traffic control out there with the city of Santa Rosa. A couple of cops I know were texting me pictures of water trucks in action. Bodine's water truck, Cresco's, Argonauts, Team Gelati's, ours. Everybody jumped up. We had crews out there. 25 of our own employees were displaced. Actually, it was more than 25. 8 of them lost their houses. Our employees stepped up for that initial response, and I really want to call out and recognize them. I want to recognize Tiny Green, Aaron Norman, Dan Sutter, Chris Wilson, and Elizabeth Gibson. They were all our first responders. They came in, they grabbed equipment, they were, what can I do to help? They were hands-on. I know every company out here has those same employees. I want to take a minute and express my true appreciation and acknowledge one of those who rose above the rest. I've known Willie since he was still in high school, and I want to say he has really grown and developed the leadership skills it's going to take to replace his dad one of these days. Hopefully not too soon. At the onset of the fires, Willie dispatched dozers and water trucks throughout Sonoma County in support of the fire operation. He also saw, when he was out at Peterson, the National Guard. They were camped out in their parking lot. They had nothing. Willie talked to them, Captain Brock, and arranged for them to come look at our warehouse. It soon became Forward Operating Base Gelati. And I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Joey Rooker from the California Army National Guard.
First off, I want to thank you all for hosting me as a delegate for the California Army National Guard. And like Gail mentioned, especially the 270th Military Police Company that was down here with about 100 soldiers that would put us up. I would first like to offer our condolences. I would like to first offer our condolences to everyone affected by the fires. And then again, just thank you, Willie. We were activated to respond to the North Bay fires. We had no idea what we were coming into and the destruction that was that came upon you all. Our mission was to aid in the relief and ease of suffering, along with the local law enforcement, and that turned into a humanitarian effort for everyone. As mentioned before, we started in the tractor yard at Peterson Tractor, and there we were on cots. We were cold, waking up wet, all we were trained for, but it's no fun nonetheless. And then Willie came on, and God bless him. Like I said, 100 soldiers, a lot of them mine that I have to take care of, and makes it really easy when we have shelter, food, provided by the amazing community in the Sonoma area. It just to see the community come together and to see the opposite of what you see in the news about looters, rioters, people hitting police, people hitting the military. This was the complete opposite. Everyone came together and it truly brought together Sonoma strong. That was awesome to see. Through Willie, his family, his group of friends, all of you, it was the most uplifting and unexpected gift I have personally ever received and been the beneficiary of. Again, as a leader in the Army, it's my job to take care of people and to see what that truly means. Provided by Willie, it was just amazing. My soldiers had nothing to worry about when it came to food, shelter. Their job was to go out and do their job, keep people out of the affected area, help ease human suffering, and they were able to do that because they knew they had a roof over their head when they came back to sleep. They had warm food that tastes a lot better than food designed to last 15 years on a shelf. Again, I honestly do not have enough time to explain and expand upon all the things that the 270th Military Police and the rest of the California Army National Guard is grateful for. To Willie Galati Construction, your family, your friends, and everyone in the community who supported our effort in aiding in the relief during the North Bay fires, thank you. With that said, I would like to present Willie Galati with the California Commendation Award.
Quite surprised. First of all, I'm humbled and honored to receive this award, and I'd like to dedicate this award to my brother. Do you know Juan? Felt him push me along this project since day one, and I honestly do it for him every day I wake up. So this one's for you. In any case, I have a few people to thank. I wanted to thank my partners, Dick Gelati, Brian Ongro, Bill Dutra, and especially wanted to thank our employees and their families, because without them this couldn't be possible, because it's all of you that made this possible. It takes each one of us, especially our wives. I thank my wife. She's sick at home, so I appreciate that my wife lets me do these things and actually, you know, do what I have to do, and she's understanding of it, and I think that's a big part of this. I also wanted to reach out and thank some other special people in this room. Sorry if I missed some people, but I'm going to do my best. Mike Smith, Argonaut, Glenn Gelati, Dean Gelati, Mark Toylan. Annabelle's not here, but there's a lot of people from Annabelle. Peterson Cat, Dwayne Doyle family. You know, without their support with all these heavy equipment and machinery, this wouldn't be possible. And there's some other people, obviously the supervisors, Mr. Gore, Mr. Rabbit. Appreciate all your guys' efforts to push this project along. Keep it local, especially speaking local. Thank you, Paul, ECC from Burlingame, and Lewis, the operations manager for ECC, for pushing this project along and getting it within completion in the next few weeks. So thank you all again. I appreciate it. I'm very humbled and, for this honor. Thank you. I'm sorry. This guy right here is like my other wife. We see each other more than we see our wives, and he's my right hand, and I didn't even thank him. So, like my wife would be mad at me that I didn't thank her, I got to thank this guy right here, because without him, this wouldn't have been possible either.
All right, sorry I hijacked the meeting a little bit there. Really, you know, he stepped up more than anybody knows or understands what he's done for the community. I've seen a lot of people talk. Willie, he talks, but I'll tell you what, he stands behind his words. All right, we'll get back on track. John?
Yes, sir.
Where are we at?
2017 Board of Directors.
Okay. I want to thank the 2017 Board of Directors. I got a lot of phones out there, too, if you're missing your phone. Oh, Jake. I want to thank the 2017 Board of Directors, especially those directors that are departing the board this year. You will be sorely missed. Lacey Torkelson, I don't think I saw Lacey tonight. And Willie Kalani is last year on the board. We do have a great board coming on in place of them this year. Moving on, we're going to go to our Volunteer of the Year. Paul.
There he is. Come on. There he is.
Oh, Paul!
So, Paul has volunteered for the Father's Day car show for about, come on up, Paul, for about the last 10 years. Probably more. After the MSA ended their participation with the car show, Paul let us know that he was still here to help the ECA. He continued to come to the meetings, bring it up, showed up bright and early in the morning to help out. On Public Officials Night, Paul helped out for the last 8 years, setting it up. The MSA had their barbecue there. There was a lot of work setting everything up. He made it a fun evening for everyone. He's also worked on the golf tournament with our new president for the last 7 years. He's been a sponsor for the hole-in-one, bringing out a truck. You'd sit in and watch, see who might be able to win the truck. Did anyone ever win? With that, I'd like to go ahead and present Paul with a volunteer in recognition of his many hours of service.
Thank you, Dale. Willie, thank you very much. That was pretty emotional. It's been a pretty emotional night. Appreciate all the heartfelt discussions and comments and so forth. And at this point, I'm going to get out of the way and let Daddy Bruce come up. Bruce Wellness? He didn't leave. He's a non-drinker and he just went back there and took 3 shots of tequila. Come on up, Bruce. Introduce your son as the incoming 2018 president.
Before we get started, I just want to say that video that the ECA showed tonight, it had to touch everybody. It certainly touched me. And one thing I can say is the ECA rocks. Really, what a great Anyhow, I'm here to introduce my son, Brett Wellness. And I'll make it short, but most of you know Brett through work. Whether it be Stony Point Rock Quarry, Grab and Grow, or Soils Plus. But what I want to do is kind of share a little bit about Brett and what it was like for him and how he got to where he is. Brett grew up actually loving the construction industry. I wish more young men did. I remember Brett spent hours and hours at my work crawling up and down rock piles. He always was wearing company gear. As he does today, those of you who know him, he's always got some company logo on. Anyhow, Brett grew up in Sonoma County. He's an accomplished athlete, surfing, skiing, snowboarding, playing tennis. Also now he's in the golf, and oh, by the way, he's a 5 handicap, so he's a pretty good golfer. Sure. He went to Montgomery High School, where for whatever reason. And of all things, he took up wrestling, and he was a 2-time NBL champion. Whoa! Oh, also, he's a first-degree black belt in Tong So Do. During the summer vacations, Brett would work for Brad Slender at DCJ in the landscape. Like I said, he loved the industry. He learned how to drive loaders, work a small little ready-mix plant, and sell aggregates and rock and so forth. After college, Brett went to work for Wheeler Zamaroni, and he was their outside salesman and sold landscape rock. He loved the job. But Brett always wanted to be in the heart of the construction industry. He wanted to work for a major rock supplier, and Mark Soiland gave him that opportunity. I like to talk about another side of Brett as the family. Brett met the love of his life, Andrea Engelhardt, 10 years ago. And they have 3 beautiful children, which makes my wife Marty and I very happy because we have 3 beautiful grandchildren. So in closing, I wanted to share a little story with you, kind of let you know about Brett as a family man. Anyhow, our family was a tennis family. I met my wife Marty playing tennis, and so the boys basically grew up on a tennis court. About 6 years ago, Marty and I decided to take the boys, Jordan and Brett, Jordan's Brett's older brother, to a tennis tournament, professional tennis tournament down in Indian Wells. And what's so great about that tournament is the first week, it's a 2-week tournament, first week, if you're there, they play all these matches on outside courts. And so if you get there early to a match, if you have somebody you really want to see, you can literally sit on the court and you risk having a tennis player fall on your lap if you get that close. Anyhow, on the one day, Jordan and Brett, they get up there really early for this one match and get on the court, get prime seats because they want to see Andy Murray play tennis. Anyhow, halfway through the match, Jordan gets up, he wants to go get some beer, so he leaves and seats the empty next to Brett. All of a sudden, this man approaches, and turns out it's Ivan Lendl, who is Andy Murray's coach, and known as probably one of the very best players in tennis history. Anyhow, he walks up to Brett and starts to sit down. Brett says, "I'm sorry, that seat's taken." And Lendl steps back and looks at him in front of the crowd and says, "Do you know who I am?" And Brett, being Brett, stands up and looks at him and goes, "Yeah, I know who you are. You're not my brother." The crowd gasps. Lendl kind of stunned and walks away, and that's Brett. With that, let me introduce you to your new Engineering Contractors Association President for 2018, Brett Wilmes.
Wow, it's been a while since I thought about that story. It got me a little teary-eyed thinking about it. If I would have known what I know now, after doing that, taking Lendl out of that seat, the lady behind me absolutely lost her mind. For like 30 minutes, she yelled at me nonstop, like, "I can't believe you did that." Yeah, it was quite interesting to say the least. I am truly humbled and honored to stand here in front of you all today. I've been on the board of directors for the last 5 years, and this industry is all I've ever wanted to be a part of. So thank you for letting me be your president for 2018. Sorry. There's a few people that I would really like to thank for me being here. First, I would like to thank my dad. Physically, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And my mother. Sorry, Marty. Mom too. Sorry, Mom. That's look. But,
the hard part.
Yeah, I know. I'll hear this later. Since I was a little kid, I got the pleasure to go around with my dad and go to job site to job site. And he would always point out, "Hey, I paved that, and I supplied that, and we built that." And as a little kid, it was the coolest thing to me ever. Like, I couldn't believe it. I wanted to be just like my dad. He was truly, he's my idol, he's still my idol to this day. Who doesn't want to have their own mobile office? All right, man. And that was my goal. My goal since I was a little kid is I wanted to sell rocks, and I wanted to have a mobile office. And I remember teachers, and it's always asking me when I was a little kid, so Brett, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to sell rocks. And, they always gave me a pretty strange look, because, who wants to be a rock salesman when they grow up? Me, personally. Another person I'd really like to thank is, unfortunately is not here tonight, but Jim Sire. As a kid growing up, some of my fondest memories are because of that man. I remember, as my dad said, being at the quarry and experiencing what a quarry really is. Running up and down the pea gravel piles with my brother. I'm sure Inshaw would freak out if he knew about that, but it was 25 years ago, so I think we're okay. And fishing in his irrigation ponds, catching some of the biggest bass I still to this day have ever caught. So the bottom of my heart, Jim, I know you're not here, but thank you very much for everything that you provided to me as a person. Next, I would really like to thank Brad Slinder. I don't know what his company name is now, but when I worked for him at 16 years old, it was BCJ Trucking, and it was over off Fulton Road where SBI Landscape Supply is now. And Brad, being the sweetheart man that he was, or is, always during the hottest days of summer, he would say, Brett, you need to get inside those little tumblers right there, and these are 1-yard tumblers. And I'd crawl in, and he'd hand me an air chisel, and I would sit there in literally an oven and chisel out concrete for 8 hours a day. I think I only blacked out twice, but I knew if I worked hard enough, smart enough, and long enough, I would one day reach my goal of being a professional golfer. I mean, sorry, a rock salesman. I'll try to wrap this up, I'm sorry. I'm just very honored to be here. Mark Soyland and Marge Soyland have really defined who I am as a person today. I was fortunate enough to know Marge Soyland going on like probably 6 or 7 years personally, but intimately for the last 3 years or so before he passed. I got to drive around with Marv from job site to job site after I joined from Rock Quarry. And Marv had to be one of the most insightful human beings I had ever met. He knew everything, it seemed like. And not just that, he knew everybody. We'd go out to job site and he goes, oh yeah, your dad worked, this guy was like 7 years old, and his dad worked for him. I mean, it was unbelievable. He had knowledge about everything, and it was a true honor to really know Marv in that way. And I wish he was here today because that man had a dramatic impact on my life. Also, Mark, oh my God, look at that photo. Sorry, I was shocker. Mark Soyland is another individual that I can't say thank you enough to. Mark really took me under his wing. He introduced me to many, many people in this room and has been an unbelievable mentor. I think it was 4 years of interviewing, and I think it was 12 interviews total, and 3 site tests. I think the first 2 I failed badly, but the third one really got me in there. It is. But he made my dreams come true, and there's no denying it. Some of you call me, a lot of you I work with, and sometimes you can't reach me. You get to my voicemail, and you hear, this is Brett Wilmus, and you reach my mobile office. There's 3 things that I really want to concentrate on in 2018 as the ECA president. One is rebuilding our community after these devastating fires. Everyone here has been affected, and I want us to get back to normal. I know it's going to be a long road, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make I don't even know how to finish that sentence, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can. 2 is workforce development. We need to attract the younger generations to be excited about this industry. Doug Hamilton has been the forefront of that, and I'm going to jump on his coattails as much as possible because it's important. I don't want to have Dave Weller call me in 20 years saying, hey, Brett, I need some base rock. Well, yeah, it's $10 a ton less a quarter, Dave. What'd you say, Brett? Well, turn your hearing aid up, bud, and I'll, Just joking, Dave, love you. And 3 is return on your investment. I want to make sure that every company in here gets what they need. Is it training, networking, spec issues, anything that you possibly need, I want to make sure that we're there for you. And that's about it. Once again, I'm really humbled to be here. I can't thank you enough. And I think that's it. Oh, wait, one more thing. Oh my God. And the most important thing. Stony Point Rock Quarry has some of the best employees I can even imagine. I'm blessed every day to come to work. But there's one quote that I want to share with you. And it's been a huge impact on my life. When I used to drive around with Marv Soyland, he used to say to me, Brett, marry the right woman, because if you do, it'll make your life a lot easier. And I did. It's that beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, there you go,
Mark Soyland, you'll pay us $5. And thank you all, and I'm going to give to Don Bly and I got to introduce the board of directors. Oh, hold on. God damn it, he's pretty. Wow, all right. Okay, so you're all intimidating, so let me do this back. Okay, so I would like, the stage is a lot smaller than normal because the normal place we hold it at burned down. So I'm just going to have everyone stand up when I call your name. And I'm going to introduce the 2018 Board of Directors. First, the Executive Committee first. Coming out of Southern Petaluma at 6'3", 215 pounds. This guy loves long walks on the beach and little bulldogs. Vice President Devin Delay. All right, next. This is a warning to everybody. Do not bet with this individual in golfing. Oh. He is the biggest sandbagger I have ever met. He does have a wicked hook off the tee, but he is the biggest sandbagger ever. Your treasurer from RCX, Dave Weller. Oh, this guy. This guy's something else. He makes some of the best hot sauce you could ever imagine. He gave me 2 bottles one time. I think it lasts like a week in my house. My wife loves cooking hot stuff, so we were saucing ourselves up. Also, hands down, the prettiest fishing boat I've ever seen in my life. So if anyone wants to go fishing, contact this guy, Josh Cleaver, secretary. And then, of course, past president, the most handsome guy in the whole room, Del Mahoney. there he is. Thank you. You were an amazing president. The ECA is far better off today than they were a year ago because of you. You gave so much of your time. I feel sorry for your wife. Thank you. Thank you for being just an amazing person. All right, now to the board of directors. Some of you I don't know personally, so forgive me. But I'm going to name you off anyways. Well, I know this lady. She loves horizontal drilling. Just like you pronounce that name. Cotillion. There we go. Dominic here? Dominic? Lucio. Dominic, all right. Jason Holsinger, I don't think he's here. I didn't see him tonight, but thank you, Jason. You're somewhere in this role. This guy is like the Swiss Army knife of construction. He can estimate. He can project manager. He can shingle your roof. Demo your kitchen, all in the same week. Nick Keene from Gelati Construction. Next is an individual that I've seen my whole life, actually. I've been coming to ECA events forever. And he's always scared the living crap out of me. I don't know why. But Mark Winters, I've never even had a chance to really shake his hand because I just didn't want to hurt myself. Next is our affiliates. From Kadon Trucking, Kimber Carpenter. Kimber here?
Oh. Right here!
We're about to come from Jay, so it's nice to put a name to a face. Next, from Environmental Pollution Solutions, Art. Where's Art? This guy's awesome. Sure he's got something to say. No Art? Oh, that's too bad. New to the board is Chet Laws.
Oh!
The camera guy. Still talking to my wife for some moving next is I don't think she's here today or tonight, excuse me, but actually holds a soft spot in my heart. Since I was a little kid, I've gone to her place of work, but from RNS Trucking, Sharon Cutler. I remember her husband, Rick Cutler, at the time, was one of my dad's best friends, actually. And I remember going there as a kid, and it was just one of the most amazing experiences in my life because it was just such a cool place, and really got me excited about the industry, seeing that whole operation. So thanks, Sharon. I know you're not here, but we're thinking about you. Next up, this lady's amazing. I didn't even see Laura. Is Laura here? Laura? No.
Laura?
God.
Laura, I think, got drunk at a 2030 crap feed.
Laura's drunk.
2030, yay!
I know! Don't tell her I said that!
I turn off the camera.
I think, I don't think I saw Trish here either. Is Trish here tonight? Trish from Moss Adams. She's our CPA, right? Thanks, Kevin. You can tell her off. I don't know for a fact, but I hear this guy makes a killer martini. I'm very happy to have him on board. Ron, I don't know, Paul.
Come here. Oh, Mary.
There we go. Yeah, we're out in the fire industry. from Peterson Trucks.
Oh, she's not here. She's
From
sorry.
two?
No, she, her child had a
What's happening here? Next, Glenn Smith, I certainly see Glenn Smith here. Glenn Smith is actually a phenomenal human being. He saved his house, he saved his neighbor's house with a shovel. I don't think he had a hose, Gail. I know he had a shovel though. And beer. And beer. It was amazing. I remember I saw him, I think 2 weeks after the fire, and his hand was all just tore up. And I looked at him and said, hey, Glenn, what's going on with that? And he goes, get that from hockey? He goes, no, I was shoveling embers for 8 hours straight. And he said to me, what happens when you give a lawyer a shovel? Next is, I've known this guy since I've worked at Food and Cameroni. I think I supplied his house with some bluestone. He is, I don't know how to describe him. He's just amazing for what it is. Jonathan Trappy from Canyon Rock. Where is Jonathan? I saw him. Hands down an amazing individual. Him and his wife. I think he has three kids now or something like that. Three? Got 3 kids? It's unbelievable. But he's an individual that will be here for 30, 40 years. I mean, he is a pillar for this industry, and we are proud to have him on board. So, Jonathan, from my heart, thank you. Next is he's a staple on this board is Walt Turner.
Yay,
Walt was supposed to leave the board this year, and I begged him to stay on, and we are so happy he did. So thank you very much. I would say that concludes our board, but we are missing one person on here that I know of for sure. And this guy, unfortunately, he's coming back from something. I'm not sure what it is. But he said he's coming back from Florida and he couldn't be here. But I swear to God to you, this guy makes Rambo look like a little schoolgirl. Once rumored to kill 175 pigs from a helicopter in one go. Unfreaking believable, but it's John Saris Jr. from Saris Corporation. I got to know him very well. Actually, went to college with him too. But he's not here, but Jonathan, or John Saris is a good man. Thank you very much. That's it.
That's quick news that Dominic switched over from Gelati Brothers to Gelati Construction. You heard it here first. Anyways, Dominic's with Gelati Brothers, just a slight correction. So thank you very much, Fred and Bruce. Just a quick word, because I know we're in there quick right now. Hertzmeyer Hall of Fame award winners are up next. Prior to 2010, this is an award that was given out intermittently, and it was only given out to folks that the criteria was that they donated a lot of time to the ECA. When I came on board in 2010, I asked Roger and Betsy if we could expand it and do this every year, one living, one posthumous, and it's based on their contribution to the industry and the community, not just to the ECA. So that's where we're at since 2010. And in the Hall of Fame award honorees, that's a pretty good list. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up the first award winner in 2017. And John Gannon, would you come up and introduce your pop? Joe Gannon, Case of Life.
find out I got to see you. I was going to start tonight by just mentioning I've been in the industry, I have the privilege of being in the industry now for 25 years, and it's always been such a pleasure to introduce myself and watch people connect the dots and tell me what a great guy my dad is and how he's been taking such good care of him over the years. But when I saw the name on the award, Roger Hermsmeyer, I was reminded of the first time meeting him at our counter. This was like 20 years ago. Shaking his big old paw, he stopped and started telling us the same thing I hear all the time. But of course, I already knew that he was my dad for 20 years.
I know, that's right.
Because around our house, the stories that we heard from dinner table were about guys like Dick Gelati, Clyde Smith, and Roger Hermsmeyer, and probably all the other gray-haired guys in the room, but I'm not going to go rattle off all the names here all at once. But, you know, to my dad, you guys really all mean the world, and so it's really cool to get to be up here tonight and get to go through all this with you guys. My dad's legacy, when he finally retires someday, will really be all the young guys that he's mentored over the years. I haven't seen Doug Hamilton in about 20 years. I actually used to babysit for them. Here's what he's doing as far as mentoring. That's really what this industry ends up being all about. Hardly any of us grew up thinking that we work in the construction industry. Somebody along the way helped us out. Nobody will ever know how many guys in our warehouse my dad pulled aside, took the coffee, took the lunch or whatever, and told them that he saw some potential in them, and that if they just did a few things, they could actually build a good career for themselves. And those three things, the first one was to put in the work. Learn the product, learn the specs, learn all the little ins and outs that make our industry tick. There's no room in this industry, and we all know this all too well, for people that don't know what they're doing. The second one was to be honest all the time, even when it's getting cost cheap. I've been hearing this lesson since I was old enough to listen, and I've watched my dad live it the hard way at times and preach it to others. The third one was always subtle. I don't think he ever verbalized it, and that was to develop strong relationships and genuine friendships with people you work with. And, you know, again, that's why I know all your names. I knew all your names before I had the privilege of being in the industry. And so for that, I thank you all for being my dad's friends and for taking good care of him throughout the years. For the privilege that I introduced my dad, Joe Yannick.
In and for this industry and the ECA. Roger, wish you were here, but thank you anyway. You showed us how it's all done. You did it well. We spent countless Thursday nights writing and rewriting specifications. We did our best, and I believe a good job was done. Along the way, you taught me how engineering contracting actually really works, and I always appreciated it, and it worked absolute hard work. I'm also honored to be on the same program with Frank Resende. Above all, I considered Frank my friend. He was everyone's mentor, confidant, and friend. It was Frank's idea, pioneered by Ron Powers, to build a Patrick Scott pathway. Ron put the ideas together on paper and made calls, myself included, and the pathway was built. Here's to you, Frank. I then found my next ECA calling. Ron Powers and I, started the Community Relations Committee, and the ECA was then on a new pathway towards helping the community at large, and at that point, the ECA began to be recognized in the community in a good way, as opposed to just tractor drivers. The ECA has grown to be a lot more multifaceted since then in terms of training, reaching out to the youth, community relations, and now the fire relief work. As a group now, we are not only recognized, we are a force in the North Bay. We are the go-to organization. In my opinion, hooray for all of us. And I tip my hat to John Bly. I tip my hat to John for his commitment and his leadership and diligence bringing us ahead. All the time I read your president's message, and I, in general, always agree, and I'm happy to read it. That's getting us ahead. I'm humbled and appreciative of the organization for giving me this award. I thank you all for supporting me as an ECA member, and finally, I thank all of you for taking the time to be here tonight. I sincerely appreciate you all. Thank you.
I think that's pretty cool that we got to know a little bit more about Joe Gannon and community relations and so forth. I did not know half of that. Joe called me last week. I've always given Ron Powers full credit for getting me involved in the ECA with the Patrick Scott Walkway. But again, it takes a village, as Dale said, and Frank Resende was behind that. And so our next recipient, posthumous recipient of the Hermsmeyer Hall of Fame Award is Frank Resende from Fedco Construction. Bill Olmo, would you come up and do the honors?
All right, I have some notes here, and you know when I Googled the same speech that Joe had, I want to thank the ECA members, the board of directors. I want to thank John and Mary. Congratulate Doug as Contractor of the Year, Mark as Affiliate of the Year, Dale for earning his past president title, Paul Stithatos actually for giving the best speech of the night. Congratulate Brett, the incoming president, and congratulate Joe, who I think Frank would agree was a friend. All right. We got a few notes for Frank. I look at this award as only two criteria. And if you knew Frank, you knew he had a great sense of humor. He was always laughing, so getting a post-humorous award, no problem. Check. The other criteria was to be a major contributor to the industry, to the community, and a major contributor to ECA. So Frank started Fedco in 1985-ish with a couple of partners. Frank was the F in Fedco. Everett Shaw, who's here tonight, is the E in Fedco, and Danny Dortch is the D in Fedco. And the three of them started a partnership that lasted a long time. I'd also like to recognize Frank's wife, who referred to Frank as my honey, and she taught me to look for my honey, and I actually found my honey with the help of his honey, so I'm pretty happy about that. Frank's daughter Angela flew in for tonight, so I'm glad Angela could join us. Alright, so what are some of the things that Frank did that maybe you don't know about? He participated in financially supported ECA community projects. He helped sponsor numerous ECA events. Some of them were fun. He supplied equipment and educators at the North Coast Builders Exchange Careers in Construction. In fact, I don't know, I think we were one of the first contractors to have one of our Hispanic mechanics attend that to speak with the kids out there and that spoke Spanish. Let's see. Other community events, delineators were loaned out, sponsored youth sports teams, classroom supports, many community projects without fanfare. We would just do different parking lots for churches. It was just the way he wanted the business run. And as that goes, Frank was pretty famous with the people who were with him for random acts of kindness. And he's a great man. Okay, so what else would Frank contribute to the ECA? Well, that would be people. We had Henry Harjack, who's no longer with us, but he is running Fedco's fleet repair shop in the sky. Not a very good one where we are now, but his wife came tonight. And, Henry was a member and a chair of the safety committee, and he also did a lot for CARB when CARB was sticking thorns on our side. Well, I guess they probably still are. And he was Contractor of the Year in 2007. Ron Powers, former board member of the ECA, committee member and chair, public relations. I wrote down he's still a member, but that's just in the memory says, I think of him as a member, but he's retired. And, but hey, any company wants to pick up a good ECA member, he'd be the guy. He was Contractor of the Year in 2003. Dan Fowler, he was a former ECA president. He's still a member of the ECA, and he was Contractor of the Year in 2006 for Stripe and Seal. Also, Dave Weller, he's currently on the board. He's an officer, and looks like he might even be a future president. He's serving as treasurer this year, and he leaves a continuing legacy with the ECA from Fedco. He was also a committee member and chair of the SPEC committee. I myself was on the board of directors. I was Contractor of the Year in 2008, you know, when construction was booming. You remember that, right? It was booming. And actually, I'm still a member of the ECA. Two more that I want to take partial credit for in the legacy is I saw an interview on TV of a gentleman who used to work at Fedco named Lucas Doherty. They interviewed him when he was taking out the water truck. He works for Argonaut, or he did at the time of that, I don't know, but he still works for Argonaut, so give a shout out to Argonaut and Lucas. In fact, I'm sure he did too. Danny Dortch, he's Sunshine Construction. I saw pictures of him in that haze with dirty clothes out there helping families, so very happy. So, major contributor to the industry and community, check. Major contributor to ECA, check. All right, so I'm getting close to trying to close. I can't tell you how much I wish Frank was here today to receive this award in person, but if you know Frank, like I know Frank, he'd have made me come up and get it anyway, so. Why would that be? Because he didn't do things to receive recognition. That's just not who he was. He did it because he saw the value in giving. And tonight, I think this room well represented a whole bunch of folks that are giving back to the community, to their businesses, to the ECA, and it's pretty exciting, and I think Frank would be really proud to be a part of that. So, I think it's well deserved. Frank's my role model, and I just want to throw out a petition to see that the post-humorous award is given out first maybe next year, because we're all getting old. And with that, class dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We ran 11 minutes over. It's at 9:30. In the immortal words of Mike Gully, we are family. Thank you guys for coming. Thanks all of you that really moved to tonight. Keep doing good things out in our community, you guys. And let's rebuild Sonoma County strong. Thank you guys very much.